Hello everyone, welcome back to AHGP. My name's Aaron, and today, this evening, we're going to be discussing a bit of a fantasy idea of mine for the 2024 F1 grid. We're also going to be playing some F1 Manager and continuing our journey with the randomized grid with Ferrari, which you can see on the screen now. If you're in the chat, say hello, tell me how you're doing. Good evening, immediately in the chat. F1 Skiddy, good to see you, my friend. How are you? And tell me your reaction to Logan Sargent being retained for 2024 at Williams, obviously confirming the grid as unchanged from the final race in Abu Dhabi last week. I think that's the first time in history that's ever happened in Formula One. So 2023 seeing yet more records broken, even after the season has finished, after what has been just a shattering year for Red Bull. Even sorry, I was trying to work out my words there. I am all good, Skiddy. Thank you for asking. I'm a bit cold. Well, I'm warming up because I was out at Christmas market today, and let's say cold was an understatement. It made Vegas feel like summer. Not that I was in Vegas, but obviously it wasn't particularly warm there. I've also added some background music to the stream. Let me know if you can hear it. Is it too loud? I can fiddle with some of the settings. So hopefully it's all good there. As for Logan Sargent, I believe Vesti deserved it more, but Williams have invested too much to drop Logan. I would have liked to see Fred Vesti given a chance, but then you've got the problem of Théo Pourchaire not having a seat, and I think it's not fundamentally right if the Formula 2 champion doesn't actually get a seat, and then drivers who finish below them in the championship do get a seat. Obviously, we saw it last year, exactly that situation. Logan Sargent finished 4th in the championship. Obviously, he's a Williams Academy driver, so they had a space and they put him in the car, which is absolutely their prerogative to do so. And Logan had done well, but Dragovic dominated that championship, wasn't actually signed up to a driver academy. Aston Martin essentially created one for him so they could have him, and then he's had a couple of FP1 outings and maybe a few demo runs, like tests and stuff. And it's unlikely that he'll get into that team. I mean, even at the start of the year, he could have had an opportunity, but he didn't get it because Lance Stroll got back in the car after his cycling accident, which was fantastic for Lance, of course, but such a shame for Felipe. But yeah, I would love to see Vesti in the car, but Pourchaire not being on the grid and Vesti being on the grid, something inherently imbalanced about that. But then Vesti could also have very easily been Formula 2 champion this year. He was very, very unlucky, of course. So let's dive into the wonderful and wacky world that I've created here in F1 Manager. We've got Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon. Here's the standings ahead of the Miami Grand Prix. Red Bull leading the way, but I believe we won the last race. Where are we? If I can remember which buttons to click, we did indeed win the last race. And it's, of course, a Red Bull that's teamed by, or driven by, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. And of course, we've got Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon. So, Drivers' Championship-wise, Lewis Hamilton 4 points clear of his old nemesis, Nando. Ocon getting himself ahead of Max Verstappen in the Mercedes. And it's been quite the story. Of course, at the start of the season, the cars very much dictate the performance of the drivers, but we could be in for one heck of a scrap here in the championship with Ocon playing number 2. Classic Ferrari vibes here. We might just have to get the team orders out early. That's how things roll at the Scuderia. I have, just before we dive into Miami, added a couple more bits for development. The ATR opened, so developing a chassis and a mega underfloor, basically. But that's all been compromised by classic Ferrari wind tunnel data concern, so we had to shut down their wind tunnel for 8 days, which means design projects are paused for 8 days. Performance targets, fine, I'm just going to leave them there, doesn't really matter. So let's dive into the Miami Grand Prix. We've actually taken a couple of pole positions already this season. Piastri as well, like you say, F1 Skiddy, he missed out on a seat as F2 champion, the last F2 champion to actually get a seat the following year in Formula One was Mick Schumacher. Oh my gosh. I mean, they warned that Miami could be underwater at some point. Didn't realise it was going to be in this game. Heavy rain, heavy rain, heavy rain for the race. This could be nuts. We've got parts of the car damaged. We're going to need to put fresh engine components in this weekend. Absolutely no debate about it. So what we'll do, just for now, is get them to run the engine in a really low mode. Don't push at all in practice. Let's just skip to Q1. This is the only year I think you think that the guy who finished runner-up deserved it more, and Porsche will be with Sauber. Yeah, Vesti won 6 races this season. 4 of them were sprints, which kind of hurt him. But where his championship came undone was the Spa weekend when he didn't even make the grid, and Porsche finished second. And basically, in the 2 races around the summer break, Spa, well, there was 3 races, of course. So Spa, Zandvoort, and Monza. Vesti didn't score in any of the 3 feature races because he crashed out at 2 of them, and well, he lost his wheels in Zandvoort. But also Porsche didn't score in Zandvoort either. But the 2 that either side of Zandvoort, Porsche did the damage with 2 podiums in feature races, which gave him a very good advantage. So we're going to go straight to qualifying here. Make Miami interesting, yes. Make it happen. This is what we're here for. Interesting races. Do we qualify? What do you think? What do you think, F1 Skiddy? Do we do qualifying, or at least Q3? I mean, Zandvoort in the pit error which was not his fault. No, Zandvoort was not Fred's fault. That is absolutely for sure. That was just pure. The racing gods weren't on his side. We're just going to. Oh no, we need to change the car components, don't we? Yeah, Fred was incredibly unfortunate in Zandvoort. Do Q3, okay. Because not only to have a bad pit stop, but then to have both rear wheels, not just one, both rear wheels depart from the machine was, let's say, that's something I've never seen before, and I've been watching motorsport for 25 years. So that was very, very surprising. Let's nope, not manage. That's Mercedes career mode stuff. I do manage. Well, Q1 has had a bit of a surprise, hasn't it? Esteban Ocon, half a second on Alonso in the wet, and Logan Sargent being a goat in 3rd place. That is fantastic. It'll be interesting to see what he can do in the new regs, though. I don't think Vesti's sticking around, because he would have stayed at Prema, but they've already got Kimi Antonelli and Oliver Behrman. Although Behrman hasn't been confirmed, but he will definitely be staying there. I'm pretty certain of that. So I think Fred will just end up being the test and reserve driver for Mercedes for now, alongside Mick Schumacher. He might go and do maybe a bit of DTM, maybe a bit of WEC. I mean, he could actually do a lot worse than going over to IndyCar and taking a spot over there in when something pops up. Things have returned to normal. It's swung half a second back the other way between Alonso and Ocon. That is not promising for Ocon. He's lost 4/10 on his own Q1 time. Okay. Paul Aron has left Prema because there were no seats. Yeah, I mean, he needed to go up to F2, but he's also, I believe, left the Mercedes Junior program as Paul Aron. Yeah, is that Fred Vesti to the Prema Endurance team? Possibly. That's definitely a possibility. Let's. We've got 2 sets of used inters, so we'll just stick a used set on it to begin. Let's manage Q3 then. Right. Actually going to do 2 laps back to back here because I want the tyres to be up to temperature. Yeah, Fred to the endurance team. Maybe. There's lots of options for Fred Vesti. It's just a case of finding him a home and what Mercedes will be able to help him with in that situation. We are going to have some traffic here in the form of Bottas on our second lap. Let's see what the sector times are like. We are fastest in the first sector. Verstappen is the man in the middle sector. Alonso flying and going again, in fact. He's closed up on Ocon, who's only P4. Hamilton is only 6th. We're now first and second. Fabulous. Okay, so let's get back to the pits, put some fresh tyres on it, and then go again. What's the rain saying? I haven't checked the weather. It's actually about to dry out, so we'll stick some slicks on it. Prema actually too quickly giving Fred's seat away. Yeah, he could have won the championship, but I think by that point the wheels were in motion with Antonelli going to Prema. Mercedes had sort of signed. What is going? Why has Ocon got so many unused softs been handed back? And then that's bizarre. Alonso had like 5. This game confuses me sometimes. Yeah, maybe it was a bit early, but as I said, I think Mercedes have gone all in on Antonelli. He's their next hope. He's the guy they think, after George Russell takes the mantle from Lewis Hamilton as lead driver, he's the man that they think will lead the team. We need to send the drivers out now to get a lap in. We might have a lot of traffic here on this lap. They're actually very close together. Who's behind? It's Ocon. So don't fight, teammate. Just get the toe. We're now 8th and 9th. But we're about to start our final flying lap. Let's see. What have the boys got? Verstappen is currently on pole in the dog mess that is the Mercedes W14. And his teammate Gasly isn't even in the top 10. Alonso, fastest man in Sector 1. 33.1 for Ocon. He's a 10th slower. So we are in the ballpark of at least the front row. Middle sector, very good for Ocon. So it's about even. Now here's the traffic. They need to all get out of our way. One of the Red Bulls has. The other one goes to the pit lane. Where do we end up? Fernando Alonso takes pole position. Ocon snatches it off of him. Unbelievable scenes here at Ferrari. Alonso has given Ocon a toe, and that's given the Frenchman his first ever pole position, I believe. But it's an all scarlet front row. Ferrari on top. Fantastic. Nice one, Esteban. Maybe we'll convert this into his second win. I think they should go Russell and Vesti, then get Antonelli and a Williams when Albon eventually leaves. Compare him with Vesti and then go from there. Maybe, but then I think Antonelli, the way he's performed in Freca, I think he's one of those talents that you go, actually, we just need to get him in a decent car as fast as possible. Vesti might be the one to fall by the wayside here. I think if they truly thought Vesti was going to be F1 quality, they would have pushed harder to get him into Williams this instead of Sargent. But anyway, unfortunately, I don't see Fred making it to F1 unless it's like a super sub appearance in the Merc. But then they probably put Schumacher in anyway. So we'll wait and see. Ocon on pole position. That's mad. F1 Manager would never be realistic. I mean, what's not realistic about this, F1 Skiddy? This is completely plausible, isn't it? All of this. Okay, let's start the race. There was definitely some sunshine there. We've got heavy rain towards the end of the race. Say mediums won't get you there. So I think we start on a set of hards. Or do we commit to a stop? Do we do 2 sets of softs? Does that get us there? It might, you know. It might. Yeah, Vesti's got a bit more experience than Antonelli, and I would like to see him in F1. Unfortunately, I don't see it happening. I think there's too many other junior drivers that are maybe slightly further ahead in the pecking order. Let's put some inters somewhere around there. That looks like a nice strategy, I think, and then we'll just mirror that with Esteban. So, no, not wets. Softs, please. And a set of inters around lap 33. Okay, cool. Right, I think we're ready to do a motor race. We'll attack at the start. Right. Ocon and Alonso on the front row. What could possibly go wrong? No, your eyes don't deceive you. That's all Ferrari front row. 5 red lights. Lights out, race is on. Ocon gets a good start. Nice job, Esti Besti. Fernando, you're slower than Ocon at the moment, because I'm telling you, you are. The next big thing is between Behrman, Crawford and Martins. I mean, Crawford did okay with high tech this year. He didn't blow me away, I'll be honest. Martins is rapid, but needs a little bit more consistency, I would say. And that's what he struggled with in the early stages of the season, was that consistency, and there was just a few mistakes that came in with deploying, and Verstappen is very nicely, well, he was holding up Leclerc, but DRS has seen to that. We're just going to get our tyres under control temperature wise. Run out of battery entry with Ocon, who still leads the race. What I'm going to do now is unleash the Nando. This could be the point where they collide, because I'm going to allow them to race. Jack Crawford is barely 18, yeah, but also so is Ollie Behrman. They're very, very young, these drivers. Martins is 22, 23, I think. We've got multiple cars crashing here.
Watch for debris in front.
Crashed. Let's have a look. Oh, Hamilton has crashed with the Alpine of someone. He was in that Alpine. Was it Sainz? I think that was Carlos Sainz clashing with Lewis Hamilton. Okay, interesting. Let's carry on. Alonso has now taken the lead, but Ocon is just behind him. We'll get some DRS. We are pulling away though, so Ferrari are in control. Can see Paul Aron not making it. He's a bit like Hauger, dominates F3 but can't do it in F2. I mean, he didn't really dominate F3 this year. He did okay, he had some good races, but Bortoletto just kind of walked away with the title in the end, didn't he? There was a lot of talk about Paul Aron for a little while. But, I mean, it's strange, isn't it, the junior categories? You can see drivers shoot up through them and they can look like the next big thing, and then they get to F2 or F1 and they just kind of flop. Hauger's a case in point. Fast, but just not able to make that step up when he needs to. Which, for him, is a shame, because I think he's a thoroughly decent driver. Maybe he'll end up sidestepping into WEC or Formula E, maybe IndyCar. WEC probably more likely, to be honest. We are now 4.5 seconds clear of whatchamacallums, Red Bull. They got old power unit parts in. They have. That would explain it. We have got the new power unit in both cars, and it's paying dividends actually. Pit window now open for Ocon. I think Alonso's going a bit deeper into this race. So Esteban's going to get a nice little undercut here on Alonso. Hopefully he comes out in that gap between Hamilton. He won't come out between Hamilton and Sainz. Maybe behind Sargent. I think we need to see Liam Lawson in a seat, because he's even if it is Perez, because he's won in the first season of everything he's competed in except F1. I mean, yeah, Lawson was excellent in those races he stood in for Daniel Ricciardo. I think we might have covered this last time. He was absolutely superb getting his points in Singapore. And I would really like to see Liam get a full-time drive to see what he really can do over the course of a season. Ocon is making his way to the pit lane, and Fernando will be... I mean, look, Ocon had 2 sets of soft tyres ready for this race. Alonso has got 3 fresh sets. So we could have gone on an absolute mad one with Fernando. This mad 4-stop strategy before winning the race or something. I think that set of... I don't know. I think it was that set that I saw, the 71% pop-up. Cool. So let's see where Ocon pops out. It is behind. It's actually between Sargent and Bottas, which is useful. DRS down the outside, no collisions. Good stuff. Let's be aggressive on the tyres. In comes Alonso. He'll pop out. Oh, they're actually going to be right next to each other. Here we go. This could get interesting. He could replace Yuki after next year, but it depends on what Ricciardo does, as Ocon and Alonso are still side by side here. Oh my gosh, imagine if they collided. Ocon finds his way through. Job done for Esteban. If he leaves or retires, Lawson absolutely takes that seat. He's the next cab off the rank in Red Bull's eyes. Because honestly, the other junior drivers aren't cutting it. Like Iwasa, fast, but he's qualifying this season absolutely let him down. Who else have they got? Hadjar. I'm not convinced by Hadjar. I mean, it's a very tall yardstick they're all being judged against in Max Verstappen, but also if you like, Tsunoda was promoted so quickly. That's why he's had these inconsistencies. He's not really had time to work through them in junior formula. But Liam Lawson has, and I think if he was to get a full-time seat, he would have a much better chance of making the seat work for him. Yeah, they signed Daravala. That made no sense. Made no sense. It felt like a quota job, didn't it, really? And I think that's a little bit unfair on Jehan, who's a good driver.
There is some rain coming.
Has the rain come? Yeah. I think we might have fudged this strategy, actually. We need to just attack on these tyres. Everybody else is probably babysitting their tyres a little bit. Verstappen and Hamilton started on mediums. Okay, we'll just crack on with this. Enzo Fittipaldi is another you don't see working. Yeah, I don't see that working either. I mean, I like Enzo. I think he's a good driver, but he's not going to be in a Red Bull anytime soon.
It is raining, mate.
It is now raining in Miami. Jehan Daravala was in F2 for 4 years. He's now going to Formula E, which I think will suit him really good. I've got a yellow flag. Someone has crashed.
At turn 13. Watch for debris in front.
Slogan! You were third in Q1. And, oh dear. Deary me. Okay, so do we pit this lap? No one else has pit this lap, so let's just keep an eye on it. They're now starting to pit, so we come in now. Actually, what do we put on it? Let's have a look.
Just look after these tires.
Track details.
Okay.
I think we can get away with some inters. Brand new set of inters. No, we want to confirm that. Alonso in. Ocon is actually ahead of Alonso. Ocon's just on the fastest lap of the race.
Was a strong lap.
Is that? He's just on a 33.2 while it's raining. Daravala versus De Vries for the championship could happen. It could. It could happen.
And box for Inters.
Box for Inters, absolutely. And we're going to have a double stack here at Ferrari. We're right behind Leclerc. Where's Alonso? He's sitting behind. Oh, this could be not very good for us.
Was the white light?
Held a little bit. There goes the second Red Bull of Hamilton. So Alonso's going to be seething about that. Ocon's actually in a really good position. Shock horror, Max Verstappen has managed to get himself into the lead of a race. So now we need to probably deploy battery and go for it. Let's see what happens. Heard you they're heading to Monza for the new Formula E season.
So deploy.
Where have they announced the Italian rounds? Because they're not going to Rome anymore. Let's see. They're going to Misano. Alonso's overtaken
DRS is disabled.
Lewis Hamilton.
Disabled. Copy.
Ocon is chasing Leclerc, but there's no DRS in the wet. It's actually going to go back to slicks towards the end of the race, as it stands. So I think we need to just look after the Inters for now
Copy.
and allow it all to unfold. And I'm sure we'll catch them towards the end. On the calendar it shows 2 to 3 Italian rounds. And yeah, just looking on the app, it says Misano, so I think they might have announced it recently. Unless, is it 13th and 14th of April they go there. And they're also going to Tokyo in Japan. I think that they've redesigned the Berlin track as well, which could be quite interesting. Should be a good Formula E season. And talking of other F1 categories, once we get through this race, I will explain the title of the stream, which is Replace 3 Drivers on the 2024 F1 Grid. at the moment, we are 3rd and 4th. Alonso a couple of tenths quicker. Ocon just over a second behind Leclerc. Yeah, they're starting to go to more actual tracks. I think they want to become... I think they're trying to maybe be a bit of both. Go into the cities, but go to proper racetracks as well. See whether they can take the series and become a proper electric racing series, if that makes sense. Because then you still have the option of going into city to do city races, but then you can do actual like Grand Prix events, and you could then theoretically see Formula E and Formula One at the same circuit on the same weekend, which would be incredible. That would be amazing. The tickets would be mad expensive, but you'd get loads for your money, and it would give Formula E a massive opportunity to really tap into the market that's there. I think more F1 fans would be inclined to watch it if it was on the same weekend as an F1 race. They might not, they might just tune out of it, but you know, the opportunity would always be there. We are saving so much fuel in the rain. It's ridiculous. We're not going to push it because we don't want to kill the engine, although we could just take some penalties later on. Gap at the front is 1.8 seconds covering the top 3, although Verstappen has just put the hammer down. Thinking of doing some sort of F1 Manager challenge. Do you have any ideas? I only have an Xbox, so none that include mods. Well, the ones who don't watch Formula E always say bad things without witnessing it how good it is. Yeah, the racing in Formula E is spectacular. Obviously it has its lulls like in any sport. Oh, there's been a crash. That would be Verstappen has crashed. I just saw him drop down the order. He's handed the lead to Leclerc. A rare error from Max Verstappen. He was inspired by Logan Sargent there. Inspired by the GOAT. Alonso could now have him. Ocon could actually seriously win this race. Someone took pole while spinning over the line. Yes, they did. Might have been Degrassi or something. Yeah, the racing in Formula E is just fantastic. You get your lulls in the race, but it does come to life towards the end. And they just send it so often. Talking of sending it, we're going to do exactly. In fact, Ocon has now taken the lead. Fernando, you are faster than Verstappen, and you know it. Let's get you past him, sunshine. He is now past him. Good job. So Ferrari on the move at the front of this race. Back to your request for a challenge. Maybe take Alpine and set yourself the target of winning the championship in less than 100 races, because they had their 100 race plan, didn't they? So maybe that's what you could do. Something like that. Put a time frame on the challenge.
Just a reminder on garage.
Yes. Yeah.
And see if you can get it done potentially quicker. We're going to have some dry running in Miami again very soon. Ocon is half a second ahead of Leclerc at the front. Rain has stopped, so we need to be prepared to get some slicks on the car. Most of the time they're nowhere near full throttle. Yeah, so it makes people think that they're slow. I would like to see Formula E be able to be more full throttle. I think that's what F1 lacks as well. I think you need to see the drivers pushing and really going for it. This babysitting the tyres, babysitting the car's being heavy. it actually makes them easier to drive because you don't want to be aggressive with it because it's exhausting and you would kill the tyres. So tyres that can hold up to it without obviously overheating, this is something that they've asked for from Pirelli. And also cars that are lighter, you can attack more with them. And that's what I like about the Formula E car. You can attack with it, but it's the power usage that you need to be wary of. Right, pit stop o'clock. We are going to pull the trigger right now with Esteban Ocon. I'm going to put him on a set of mediums because that's all he's got that's not been used. Fernando Alonso, this is where all these soft tyres come into play. He has got soft tyres galore. Alpine, French drivers. Yeah, you could maybe do French drivers only. Or maybe, this could be a good one, maybe take over Red Bull or Ferrari. Maybe Red Bull and put 2 rookies in the car. Take 2 F2 drivers, maybe put Pocher and Vesti in there and see if you can still win the championship. What's happening with Esteban Ocon? Oh, he's been... that pesky Red Bull pit crew and their lightning fast pit stops. What's Leclerc gone on to? Obviously a set of softs. Right, well, Ocon's not winning this race. That's unfortunate. Maybe we push. And Red Bull have got their blocker, which is Lewis Hamilton, on a set of inters. So, Esteban, can you drive in some clean air, please? Try and get through. Hamilton will be in immediately. Has given us DRS. Right, deploy, go for it. Attack on the tyres because they'll take it. Fernando, you can do the same. Push with the fuel. We're good on fuel to the end. Been sacked for being 2 billion in debt after firing Max Verstappen. I mean, yeah. Well, maybe try a different team then. See how you get on with 2 rookies. Rookie to glory is a possibility. Yeah, try it. Maybe try it with Esteban. Yes, Bestie. Go on, son. Right, where's Alonso? He's 7 seconds behind. Ocon, you're good, mate. You don't need to give up the position. Just keep going. Which 2 rookies would you pick then, Skiddy? Would it be Vesti and Pocher? Would it be somebody different? Do a Mercedes if they had more playable academy drivers? Yeah. And I think that's something that needs to be added to this game to give it more depth. You need the ability to set up and run young driver programs. Ocon does count as a Merc Academy driver. Or has he dropped from that? He's no longer a Mercedes Academy driver. We should probably... Leclerc is coming back to get us. We might have to set this up. Be a bit sneaky with it. Try Vesti, maybe Lawson or Drugovic. Yeah, I mean you could put maybe do AlphaTauri, put Lawson in there because at the start you'll have debris, so just bin him off, and then maybe put Iwasa in there instead of Tsunoda, or like you say Drugovic. Maybe take AlphaTauri, see if you can topple Red Bull. And that'd be a good challenge. Alonso is flying at the moment in this. Yes, bring back a retired driver. I mean, I think that would be something that would be really cool. Having a larger bank of drivers in the driver market. Some retired drivers, some drivers who... Obviously, you've got the reserve drivers you can pick for. A few good ideas coming. Yeah, absolutely. I'm pleased to have been able to help. I mean, I don't know if you've seen my video from yesterday, Skiddy, but I have launched the Discord channel that you asked for. It is there, and there is also a channel in the Discord for video suggestions for me. So challenges you'd like me to do. I've had a few ideas. Maybe put the worst rated drivers in the game into the Red Bull and see if they can still win the championship. But yeah, there's lots of different things that we could do. Obviously, if you're only playing on the Xbox and you've not got the access to the database editor that I have, that maybe limits your options a wee bit. But that again, that's something that Frontier could maybe put in, some sort of database editor that you can create stuff. And the benchmark for F1 Manager is Football Manager. I'll hop in after the stream. I did see a video, but relatively busy while it was on, so missed a couple of things. Yeah, I mean, have a go, have a play. Test things out before you start. Leclerc has just dropped 3.5 seconds. What's going on? Ocon is set to win this race now. We're loving it. Alonso, what's happening with the tyres, mate? You're just munching through them. He might. Alonso's catching. Not Perez. I'm so used to saying Perez in a Red Bull. Alonso's catching Leclerc in the Red Bull. Let's have some high aggressive overtakes. Go for it, Fernando. I think Leclerc got held up in some traffic. I think that's why he's dropped back. He's about to get absolutely shafted by the Alfa Romeo has absolutely ruined him, and it's also ruined us. We went for the overtake and it didn't happen. It's given Leclerc DRS. Fernando, go for it. Use all of your talent. We know how big it is. But Esteban is starting the final lap. Are we going to get Alonso through into the lead, into second? Yeah, Ocon just ran away. Here we go. Fernando Alonso. Can he take second place? Leclerc defending pretty well there, but I don't think it's going to be to much avail. Fernando Alonso makes it a Ferrari 1-2. Forza Ferrari! Forza Ferrari, vive le bleu, sacre le bleu. Esteban Ocon is a winner again.
Yes, guys.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Wow. Love that. Love that. Leclerc P3, Hamilton only P5. Andy had a collision with Sainz. He's been beaten by Verstappen in the Red Bull. In the Mercedes, sorry. No, I'm trying not to push the engines at the moment because I don't want to kill the end, because I don't want to wreck them. Because we've just had to put new power units in. Although I see that the computer didn't put new power units in. Victory for Esteban Ocon. Well, hang on. He's in a Ferrari uniform, race suit, and his helmet literally says Alpine on it. This is nuts. Are they going to get like the cool helmets? Leclerc actually looks pretty cool in a Red Bull race suit. No, they don't get the helmets or the sheriff's hat or whatever. Victory for Esteban Ocon. Let's see what it does for the championship. Alonso now leads the way by 5 points from Hamilton. Ocon still a little bit adrift. He'd need to win a couple more races. Alonso's 1-2, Hamilton's 1-2, Leclerc has 1-0. Alonso's actually had 3 pole positions this season. We've been on pole 4 out of the 5 races. That's mad. I didn't quite realise that. We are now just 8 points behind Red Bull. Cool. You like what I do with the Mercedes under fueling? Yeah. It just, I don't want to have to take unnecessary penalties at the back end of the season. And that being light really, really makes a difference. Like, you just gain so much performance at the start of a race. We're going to need to manufacture more suspension here. Let's do that. Wallop. What needs doing part suspension? Replace the part. Yeah, we've got literally no suspension parts spare. Cool. Xavi's morale is low because Alonso lost. No problem. Yeah, so underfueling with the car at the start of the race makes a huge difference. I'll do it here actually. Performance loss. Oh! Alonso's getting old. He's now only 89 rated. This is new. I didn't know this could happen. I haven't seen this with Lewis. I mean, we're into 2025 and I've not seen this screen with Lewis Hamilton. Okay, he's not as old, but still, point stands. Fernando Alonso in the mud because his stats have just been nerfed by 1 each. Well, actually, accuracy hasn't gone down, nor is defending. Defend like a lion, always. Low stock of stuff. Data concern. There was a fault that would have escalated. You're a massive Ferrari fan. You have a liking for Mercedes. You hate Xavi's guts. I feel like sometimes he's the problem with Leclerc. Like, he asks a question that just leaves so much doubt in Charles's mind. We've just designed a new suspension part after manufacturing it. Yeah, we'll have a refund, please. Just make 4 of them, please. Rushed, please. Thank you. Yeah, Xavi's a bit strange, isn't he? There's Enrico. I mean, he seems... I don't know. Leclerc seems happy with him. They don't seem willing to make a change. Charles has started making the calls himself. Yeah, he's cottoned on to the fact that actually he might need to be a bit more taking the bull by the horns from the cockpit to get things done. A little bit like Lando with McLaren. Yeah, I think they're realising that actually if they need to challenge things. And like the driver who challenges his engineers the most, and people sort of criticise him for it, is Lewis Hamilton. But actually it works because if the driver challenges the team, it asks the team, actually, are you sure this is correct? And if they respond with, yeah, we've run the numbers and everything's fine, we're going with this, stuff like that, then especially when it comes off and they get the payoff, then it works. It builds that energy between the driver and the engineer and the team. Obviously, when it doesn't go right, it does lead to that element of doubt being sown within the minds of everybody. Let's do this, have some extra cash. So it is important that I think it's important that they challenge the engineers because they have a feeling within the cockpit of what's possible, but they also sometimes do get a bit blinkered. Right, so before we dive into Imola and a home race for Ferrari. Now, title of the stream is Replace 3 drivers on the F1 grid. So, Skiddy and anybody else in the chat, if you're watching after the fact, tell us in the comments. Replace 3 drivers on the F1 grid for 2024. 1 driver from Formula 2, 1 driver from IndyCar, and 1 driver from another category. So, WEC, Formula E, somewhere else. So, here are my picks. This is what I've gone with. I'm putting Oliver Behrman in at Haas instead of Kevin Magnussen. I think he's the sort of driver who could go in and really shake that team up. And alongside Hülkenberg, I think you've got a slightly more consistent F1 standard there. Magnussen's good, but I think Hulk has shown that he's actually slightly better over the course of this year. In a car that wasn't really all that good in a race. My second driver in is Alex Palou from IndyCar to Aston Martin to learn off Spain's greatest driving product in Fernando Alonso. And I think he's a master of consistency. You put him in alongside Fernando, you've just got 2 drivers who can perform at exceptional levels week in, week out. And then my final pick, because it's another. It's got to be another series. I've gone with Mitch Evans from Formula E at the Jaguar team to Sauber, replacing Zhou Guanyu. So F1 Skiddy in the chat has gone Porsche to Sauber for Zhou Guanyu. Christian Lundgaard from Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing in IndyCar to Williams, interesting, and Mitch Evans to Haas. Skiddy, talk us through the choice of Christian Lundgaard. So you replace Sargent at Williams and replace Hulkenberg at Haas. Why? First, tell us about Lundgaard, then explain why you hate making Hulkenberg mad and making him turn green. We've sorted everything for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, that's fine. What I am also going to do here is swap the engine parts out for the old ones in practice. Oh, we've got a wet race again! I mean, wet races are usually fun. Not had one round Imola yet. This will be new. Let's put the old bits in that don't really work anymore. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Lundgaard was very impressive. A pole position and a race win in his first full season in IndyCar, which is probably, alongside Formula E, the most competitive series in top level motorsport. That's single seaters. We've got ATA qualifying as well. Hulkenberg is getting old, but he's still good. He's still good. Look, he's beating Bottas. Alonso, fastest in practice 3 on a set of hards. That's interesting. Basically, we've taken all the fuel out of it. Frontier need to get IndyCar rights and Formula E and other categories, so there's more more mode. Oh, that would be amazing. You could then start a journey. I mean, I would love to be able to manage Formula 3, Formula 2, then Formula 1. I think that would, like I said earlier, F1 Manager needs to aspire to be as close to the Football Manager simulation as it can be. Not everything will be transferable, but going on that journey, there's like the Journeyman series in Football Manager, where you start at the lowest possible level and then you work your way up to the superstars, the massive teams like the Barcelonas, managing Manchester City, maybe managing a national team, getting to those Champions League clubs. But you at the moment here, you just throw yourself right and you could just pick Red Bull and win all the time if you wanted to. Let's change car components, because otherwise we won't be finishing the race, and we'll be slow before we do it. It's going to simulate qualifying completely. If Ocon ends up on pole again, this is going to be such a cracked stream. No, we are on pole again, but it's Fernando Alonso. Oh wow, that is super close. 0.006 of a second. The amount of opportunities from getting more series involved would be incredible. Just don't see people who manage F1 rights allowing it. No, because it is an F1 licensed game. If they went down, a bit like Motorsport Manager really, if they went down that sort of route and it was unlicensed, then yeah, possibly, because Football Manager can have the names of the players and certain teams. Obviously, they have Man UFC, and they're not allowed to use Juventus or Napoli in the game because of licensing or whatever. So it's possible that it could be not endorsed by F1. It could just be Grand Prix Manager or something. but then you have your teams, you have your drivers and all your circuits, but then you can have all these different parts that join it, so it's definitely a possibility. What difficulty for the Alpine Challenge? Whichever one you want. I've got it on normal. I'm just keeping everything on standard because I think basically I can't be bothered to have it be harder. So when's the rain coming? It's coming towards the end. Okay, so we're going to start. We do a set of hards first. Will they get there? They will. Okay, let's just start on us. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to massively underfuel as much as possible. There we go. And because Alonso's at the front, that'll work. With Esteban, we'll just do the same. No strategy. Massively underfuel. Because we'll just recover it while we're sitting in traffic or while we're in the rain. Motorsport Manager didn't have any official tracks, but yes, it was still a great game. It's just such a shame that my laptop that I first had it on blew up. Not blew up, but it just died. And then the new one that I got, which was more powerful, wouldn't launch the game. And even on my PC now, which is again more powerful, it won't launch the game, which is annoying. So I was like, when F1 Manager was announced, I was, oh, hooray! I've got a motorsport management game I can get my teeth into again. Yeah, but Motorsport Manager was a lot of fun. Obviously, F1 Manager has taken the game on with the bit more immersion, and the graphics are much more improved. Obviously, official drivers, circuits, and whatever. How much does the game cost as I'm getting a laptop soon? Motorsport Manager? Oh, it would be cheaper now. Looking over £30. Potentially. Maybe less. Alright, let's see if we can get a home win. Fernando Alonso on pole. Ocon is in P4, I think. Yeah, he is. Lights are out, race is on. Alonso is running away. Hamilton is actually on softs. That's a problem. Ocon on his hards is now third. Driving with the confidence of a recent race winner and trying to bully his way past Leclerc, and he's done it. Love that. Love that, Esteban. We are 14.5 kilos under fuel. Wasn't there supposedly an IndyCar game coming out? Yes. But that has fallen by the wayside for now. Let's go to standard on the tyres. We need to make these tyres last. To treat them. Right, we're walking on eggshells. DRS now enabled, but obviously DRS not particularly powerful. Well, it's not easy to overtake around Imola. And what we'll do is we'll just sit here and destroy Hamilton's tyres. I started this morning scripting a slightly different video for the channel. It's to do with F1 Manager, but it's basically all the things some of the things that I think need to be in the game next year that would improve the immersion and just improve some of the gameplay. Ocon now into P2, passing a Red Bull while Red Bull had DRS open. That's impressive. Would Leclerc count as a French driver? I mean, Monaco technically is in France. So, I mean, it's your challenge. You make the rules. If you want to be able to, if you want to have a French colonies sort of thing going on, like things that are within the French jurisdiction of land, I mean, it's your challenge. You build the loopholes and you exploit said loopholes however you wish. But yeah, you could certainly include Charles Leclerc and Arthur Leclerc by that sort of opportunity. I mean, if you wanted to be really strict with it, you can have a look at. Yeah, I mean, it's technically classed as its own country, but it's inside France, isn't it? It's more a principality, if anything, which is strange. Ocon now leads they're fighting away, these two. They're side by side through Piratella. Not what you want to see. I'm just gonna. Do you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's high overtake aggression. I think we make a little rule here. Whenever they're together on track, Alonso and Ocon, the aggression goes up to the max. See what happens. Hajar. Oh! They have crashed!
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
It's happened immediately! High overtake aggression brings carnage at Ferrari. And we're blocking the track. We're blocking the track. This is going to be a red flag. Oh, we don't like it. Red flag, there we go. We've got a red flag. Ocon is, I don't know what's going on there. I don't actually know what damage we've got. It's brilliant. Love it. Here we go. Side by side, it's probably wrecked our hards, but actually this brings the rain closer. Oh, we get another angle of the reaction. Okay. Clear skies. So it's not telling me when the rain is, so I'm going to stick a set of mediums on it. We have scammed our way with a red flag to keeping 1-2 because they collided. Because we blocked the track. Nice work, lads. If you're going to collide, at least block the track. Brilliant. Right, let's start the race again. And it's an all Ferrari front row. We don't have the weird glitch that I had in my Singapore race. Oh, that's a nice angle for the restart. I like that. Both drivers' confidence is very low. Oh no. What have I done? When's the rain coming? The rain hasn't moved that much closer. Okay, let's hopefully not crash into each other, lads. We should probably start conserving the fuel. We can be aggressive on the tyres, because these tyres will now get easily to the rain period. Yes, so Skiddy, getting back to your question about the three drivers. So Hajar, Martins and Novalek, I would go with... actually, I think Isaac Hajar grows really well in this game. From what I remember seeing in my Mercedes save, he's actually one of the highest rated drivers outside of F1 at the point that I'm at. So I would go for Hajar. There's more growth potential there. We are zooming away from Verstappen. The Tsunoda in 4th for Aston Martin. Look at that. Red Bull having an absolute disaster. Let's zoom away a bit more. They're fighting again. They're fighting again. Tyres starting to overheat. We don't have any rain on the horizon yet. Have to wait until after Bahrain due to the age regs. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I mean, if the game forces you that way, then you could maybe go with Martins because you can do it immediately, or you can wait until Hajar is eligible. So yeah, maybe go Martins and then keep Hajar up your sleeve. Maybe put him in as a reserve. They're still scrapping away, Ocon and Alonso. But rain on the way. Confidence now back up to high for Ocon and only medium for Alonso. I mean, if Ocon wins again, that really sets the cat amongst the pigeons. Having earlier said we're going to be getting the team orders out.
So
Rain starting.
rain.
Copy.
So I'm going to need to bring Ocon in earlier because he is munching through his tyres. So let's... Are you keeping...
Wow.
Are you okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
they crashed again. Oh, it's happened again. Same corner into Tosa. Banged wheels. Do you know what I actually forgot to check for earlier was damage, but there was no damage picked up from the earlier collision. No damage here. Oh, I shouldn't be allowed to do this. All right, let's bring them both in for inters on the next lap.
Box speed confirmed.
Box bid
box.
confirmed.
So box now. Box for inters. We
Any
need
penalties
trademarks.
being handed out by the stewards? No penalties given. Okay, our drivers have now stopped for inters, but no one else has. This isn't good. It's not quite ready for inters yet. Have we thrown this away? What's Piastri do? 24 seconds behind everybody else. Alright, some drivers are starting to pit. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, looks like Alonso will resume in the lead of the race. We'll turn the overtake aggression down because they're not fighting each other anymore. Verstappen and Russell are still out on hards. Why? Why would they do that? Russell in the AlphaTauri is currently second. Incredible. But he'll lose that in a minute because he's got a pit. He didn't actually pit yet. Hamilton has caught Alonso. Wait until after Bahrain and then make the choice. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Because if you're keeping Gasly and Ocon in the car for the first season, then that's fine. Just decide who you want as your reserve. Give them lots of experience in practice. Job should be a good one. I think we should be good here as well, with Alonso ahead of Hamilton. Got a bit of traffic, back markers up ahead. Tsunoda's currently P3 as well, looking set for his first ever podium. We are still saving the old fuel. We've got a few laps left to do it. 60s. Half a second between Alonso and Hamilton at the front. Hamilton's just dropped back a bit. Is it going to drive before the end? No. We're good on the tyres. Ocon, we could probably... There's a yellow flag. It's gone. Hamilton ran wide at turn 3. Hasn't cost him that much time though. We'll just deploy for now. Ocon lost 16 seconds. Yeah. I think he had to be held in the pit lane probably. Oh no. Well, he would have been slow out of the pit lane because we came in basically together. I think he come out in traffic. So that didn't work out well for him. Without the red flag, we'd have been out of fuel. Yeah. That's why we caused the red flag. It was, lads, we're not going to make it on fuel here because we didn't put enough in. So if you could tactically block the track without damaging the cars and bring out a red flag, that would do us a solid. Alonso now 3 seconds clear of Hamilton. He is going to take another win this season. can Ocon catch Tsunoda for that final place on the podium? Let's just attack with him on the tyres. See if we can get him close enough. I'm sure he'll be close enough down the pit straight. Let's deploy. Driving clean air. Is he going to find a way through? No. Let's just... Oh, here we go. He might do it here. He might do it here. Into Tosa, where it's all gone wrong twice before in this race. But because the other car's not red, it's all fine. Alright, so that at least is a double podium.
And
ERS
is
is gone.
Yeah.
So is Alonso. He's disappeared. No more rain. Oh, it's drying up.
Copy that.
But it'll be fine. Final lap. Fernando Alonso is going to deliver for the Tifosi. The sun now shines on a Ferrari home win. Alonso won in Monza in 2010 for Ferrari. He now wins in 2023 on F1 Manager.
Yes, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show.
We did enjoy the show, Fernando, because you've won by 9 seconds.
Guys.
So the Ferrari anthem will be, the Italian national anthem will be playing
taking the back.
for the fans. It's joyous scenes at Ferrari.
Thank you.
Ocon recovers to P3. It wasn't without its problems. We did... the track is now dry, apparently. We did cause a red flag after our drivers collided. Our drivers also collided again. But we've survived, and Fernando gets to celebrate. His helmet says Aston Martin across the front of it. I'm sure it does. And now he doesn't have a helmet on. Anyway. Right. Alonso will have extended his lead a little bit further now. He's 12 points clear of Hamilton. And Ocon closes a bit on Leclerc. This guy, clearly not as good as he thinks he is, because he can't drag a result out of the Mercedes. I mean, who are you if you can't drag a Mercedes that's rubbish onto the podium? I'm jesting, of course. Constructors, we now take the lead by 3 points from Red Bull. Okay, cool. I need to bin off Giovinazzi as the reserve driver. Should we get Behrman? Can we have Behrman? Where's Oliver Behrman? Show me the bear. There he is. Proposed contract. Reserve. Start date immediately. Salary. With Ferrari, we'll just spend ridiculous amounts of money. Have $1 million, Oliver Behrman. And here's, you know, some more money. Take my money. Take my money. 2 seasons. I mean, I don't know if we'll do 2 seasons of this, but I just want Behrman as the reserve driver, because Giovinazzi, let's face it, is rubbish. 3 seasons for this, or for your save. For your challenge, I would suggest 3 seasons. I think that's long enough to get everything achieved. Hooray! We've signed a new driver. Hi, Ollie. Welcome to the team. Development. Let's just do pace long runs. Yeah, because I think accuracy. Actually, he needs to improve his accuracy as well. We know he likes to thrash the car around. Cool. Right. Well, we're gonna leave that stream here because we are now leading the championship. Both of them. Just taking the lead in constructors. Alonso has extended his advantage in the drivers. That's a good stream, I think. If I can find the right screen, I'll be able to switch back to, in fact, go to this one. This will do. There we go. Fantastic. Right, well, thank you everyone for joining me. If you're watching afterwards, of course, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you aren't already. My thanks to F1 Skiddy in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me. Great conversation, actually. Really enjoyed it tonight. And yeah, been a wonderful stream. You could do 3 with Alpine if you don't win the championship. Have to move to Haas or whoever's the worst. I mean, there is always that now that they've added the movement between teams, and that's always good fun. But yeah, Skiddy, thank you so much for joining me. Go and enjoy playing some F1 Manager yourself. You've thoroughly earned it by watching me play, which I do appreciate. I do appreciate it a lot. So thank you very much. I will see you next Saturday. Or no, I won't see you next Saturday because I am at a Christmas party. So I might see you during the week, actually. I've not got a week at work this week, so I might do a couple of midweek streams. So keep your eyes peeled for notifications so you know when I'm going live. I'll put it out on the Twitter stuff and everything as well. So yeah, make sure you join the Discord as well. The link to that should be in the top of the description. And I will see you next time. We've got Mercedes at Jeddah on Monday, which I do need to edit tomorrow at some point. Yeah, cool. Skiddy, thanks for being in the chat. I will see you hopefully next week. And yeah, goodbye for now, everybody. I'll see you next time.